Hi, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your March 2020 full moon reading for you. Now, the time frame of this reading, the impact of this full moon, will be from March 9th, which is the day of the full moon, to April 7th, which is when the next full moon will be. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also to subscribe to my channel. So let's dive right in now, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus, and see what this time frame has to offer. I'm going to be moving to the side your Moonology and your Queen of the Moon cards. These will be layered on top of the tarot to really have the moon's energy speak for itself during this time, since we are talking about how the moon will be affecting you. And now let's see what the tarot has to say. How will Cancer be affected by the March 2020 full moon? How will Cancer be affected by the March 2020 full moon? How will Cancer be affected by the March 2020 full moon? How will Cancer be affected by the March 2020 full moon? How will Cancer be affected by the March 2020 full moon? Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. Fantastic. And I have everything about the moon all set up here for you, so we'll get into that in just a moment. We start with the Page of Wands. This is a fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy shining through. Then you are crowned by Justice, which is a Libra energy, a time frame of September 23rd to October 22nd. You have the Four of Wands, which is absolutely beautiful. Then you have the Knight of Cups. This is you shining through as a knight. This is going to be a time where you are really looking at getting things done, moving forward. Then we have the Queen of Wands at your root, at your heart. You have the Page of Wands. It progresses to and evolves and grows to the Queen of Wands. At your root, you really know what you want. You really know who you are. You're embracing your passion, your creativity. You are a visionary during this time. And then we have the Ace of Wands. So you are definitely taking this gift. You're seeing things in a new light, and you are establishing what you desire. And then we have the Two of Wands. You're looking at the days, the weeks, the months, the years to come. You have the Devil card right here, which represents a Capricorn energy, a time frame of December 22nd to January 19th. Then we have the Ten of Pentacles, which is absolutely brilliant to have at your heart. And then at your roots, we have the Nine of Pentacles, which is, again, absolutely brilliant. Very powerful and very, very, very prosperous. So before I get into what the tarot is saying and explaining all of this, let's talk about this moon. So the full moon talks about power and surrender to the divine. This is also a time where the past lunar cycle is illuminated for us, and especially since we're coming out of Mercury retrograde, during this time you are going to see all the trials that you have been through, the miscommunications, the upsets, the times where you've held your tongue. You're going to be looking at things, Cancer, and things are going to be making sense to you. You're like, oh wow, that happened because, or to move me in this direction, or I never would have seen things if not for. And so doors are opening, and you're going to start to see yourself in a new light, but you're also really calling on your power, your creativity, and divinity. The universe is really handing you that embrace of creativity and that embrace of power. So this is going to be a time where you feel divinely called to do something, divinely guided. Now, this full moon is in Virgo, and Virgo here says you are good enough, which I always thought was just a bit rude. You know, you're good enough, don't worry, you're not excellent, you know, you're not bad, but you're right in the middle, right? But really thinking about it, being good enough, really sitting there and saying, I'm good enough. It isn't being, condescending or rude to yourself. It is really sitting there and saying, I'm good enough. I don't have to keep up with everybody. You know, it's not keeping up with the Kardashians. It's not keeping up with the Joneses. This isn't the Great Gatsby. You know, you don't need to have absolutely everything to make people jealous or envious or anything like that. Here it is saying it is time to embrace your power. It is time to embrace your beauty that you were born into, and to move forward in that grace, in that understanding. And doors are going to open for you because you're sitting there content within your soul. It doesn't mean that you're sitting on the couch eating chips, not doing anything, but it does mean that you are looking at yourself and not comparing yourself against everybody else, not really sitting there and saying, okay, well, in order to be the best me possible, I just have to, lose 10 pounds and grow, 5 inches and, do all this stuff that can seem impossible. If you're fully grown, growing 5 inches can seem, it will be impossible. It will be. So here there is a sense of looking at yourself and saying, this is who I am and this is who I was born to be. And as you come into this moon in Virgo, this is a time to be very this is a very detail-oriented moon. This is also a very kind of discerning moon. It's kind of like you're really going to look at what you want to spend your energy on and what you have the time and the energy to spend your energy on, and be much more kind of discriminating with where you will give your power. It's like, no, you know what, that is a waste of my time. That always makes me feel bad afterwards. I'm not going to do that anymore. Or at least for this moon period, I'm really going to focus on things that make me smile, that bring joy and happiness. Because with the supermoon, and this full moon is a supermoon, we're coming out of a supermoon time period. And what's brilliant is that we have like 4 supermoons in a row, right? So we have the supermoon we just came out of, we have this one for March, we have one for April, and then we have one for May. So here, this is amplifying the energy of Virgo, which is very much about getting things done, about being organized, about focusing and fixing. So it can be that you're really into kind of tidying things up or fixing things around the house or at work, but it's also going to be within your life. This is going to be a absolutely astounding time to look at things and say, what do I want to change? What do I need to fix in order to make my life happier and more enjoyable for me? Because I deserve that. I am enough. And that is a powerful statement. Not just I'm good enough, but I am enough. I am exactly what I need. And that power is amplified by the fact that this is the worm moon. So I know it's not the, sexiest, coolest name for the moon, but the worm moon says that, especially in the northern hemisphere, the worms are awakening and they are, preparing that soil again. They're able to move through that soil, especially if you live somewhere cold, that, they weren't able to move through it before because it was frozen. So here, there is that awakening of the earth. If you are in the southern hemisphere, I really view this as like a blanket coming over her also. So it can be that, this is the blanket being pulled up. This is becoming more cozy. This is the time of being in the womb, of really looking at what you desire, that time of focusing on what you want. You do have your focus coming through with the full moon in Virgo. You're focusing on what you want, on how you want to move forward, and you are embracing that beauty and that power and really doing things much more, not so much going out if you don't want to, but much more kind of planning things out for yourself. In the northern hemisphere, this is going to be much more of a time of action, of really looking at things, and this awakening, kind of like feeling as if you have to move towards something. You have here attraction from the supermoon also, so there is a sense here of attracting to yourself what you need, what you desire, and the exact right things for you to move forward, even if you think that this is a bit of a mess, like, you don't know exactly how things are going to work out, or you're sitting there and you're feeling overwhelmed, because the supermoon does make emotions run high, so you can be feeling overwhelmed and you're thinking, how will I do this? How will I move forward this way? And you're going to find that it's kind of like the exact right thing kind of falls into your lap at the exact right time. It doesn't mean that it's so easy that you just absolutely know instantaneously, though some very well may. For a lot of you Cancers, it's going to be that you have things start to align and you start to look at things differently, and you're really coming from this place of the heart and you're really moving yourself forward. And by the time of the new moon, you are entering into these beginnings, and it's really amplifying the beginnings, and you're going to take action with them, because the new moon is in Aries and it says it's time to take action. So it's very much going to be a sense of, right, I don't really want to sit back. I don't really want to, just kind of twiddle my thumbs. Now's the time to go after what I want. Again, if you're in the northern hemisphere, spring is coming. If you're in the southern hemisphere, it's fall. And so you are moving into winter. Whichever hemisphere you are in, there is this sense of moving from one place to the other, going through the portal, having the change happen around you that is really calling you towards what you need at this exact moment. And with the new moon, it says a new start is coming. And you're going to really see that new start, be guided by it, and really embracing more of an understanding of self because of this new start and this new power. Now, in April, on the 7th, the full moon is in Libra. So this is going to be a time where, yes, emotions do run high, and you're going to be really involved and concerned with emotional relationships. So just know that by the end of March, okay, around the end of March, and as you enter into the new beginnings, you are going to find that relationships are really, really going to be important to you. It can be romantic relationships, it can be business relationships, but you are going to be looking at personal relationships. You're going to be looking at relationships, and they're going to have a new intensity, a new power, and a important role in your life. And this says a win-win outcome is forecast. So you are moving into a win-win situation, a sense of things falling into alignment, being balanced. And as you do so, the totem animals for this time, the spirit animals for this time, are the wolf spirit and the whale spirit for March. In April, it is the wolf spirit and the hawk spirit. So I love that the wolf spirit's energy comes through for both of these months. And this is turn knowledge into wisdom. So if you see an image of this animal or you see this animal, this is what spirit is saying to you. Turn knowledge into wisdom, or see how your knowledge, the knowledge that you have accumulated throughout your life, has turned into wisdom, is shaping you, refining you, becoming such a greater part of you. And as you do so, the whale spirit comes into play, which says, trust the great mysteries. And as you trust the great mysteries, you realize that you don't have to have the answers for everything or really anything. You learn through the wisdom that you accumulate, and the great mysteries that surround you will always be mysterious and always have been mysterious, because as human civilization progresses, we find out new things. We have new names for them, things. We are looking at things through new eyes. So we are always progressing, and the great mysteries are always going to stay just a bit out of our reach. And then we have the hawk spirit for April, which says, let spirit be your guide. And in April, you are really going to sit there and want spirit and desire spirit to take the wheel, to help you move forward, to help you see things in a more powerful, positive, profound light. Now this moves us to the heart of your reading, being the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands, again, fire sign energy, so strong, strong, strong connection to the new moon period, which is on March 24th. You are going to see the new moon powerfully affect you. It brings in new beginnings. It brings in new power. The spring equinox is on March 19th, or the fall equinox, depending on which hemisphere you are in. So either you have this awakening that's moving you forward, or this moving into slumber that's going to be more of a contemplative, meditative time for you. Whichever hemisphere, there we go, I can speak, whichever hemisphere you're in, mindfulness is going to be such an important practice, especially since you have this visionary energy around you during this time, this sense of, wanting to achieve more, of looking at the greater picture of things, of being more adventurous, of wanting to try new things or go new places or meet new people. There is also this sense here of having this creative energy around you. If you are a creative person, or even if you're not, embracing a creative endeavor. It can be something very structured, or it can be something very free-flowing. You are going to find that it really does add a richness and a power to your life. Now, you have a strong connection in this reading with this fire sign energy. And with this fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, you are going to be looking at things in a new way. There's a student mentality. There's also a messenger mentality with the Page of Wands. And so you are going to be most definitely getting messages from Spirit that help you break chains to things that no longer are your truth. Okay, they might have been your truth before, but now you are finding yourself redefining. And a little bit reinventing yourself, Cancer, during this time. You're embracing an end of a cycle when it comes to money, and you are money or wealth or what you value as much as money, and you are really opening up the doors to prosperity, prosperity that lasts generations, prosperity that moves forward with you, a sense of a planting and a reaping of what you truly desire. Earth sign energy, of course, represents the earth. Fire sign energy is the energy at the core of the earth, right? The fire at the core of the earth, but also the sun in the sky that warms it. So here, there is this beautiful feeding and growing of the seeds that you are planting through warmth, through caring, through compassion. And during this time, what's so brilliant is that this full moon in Virgo really calls to the goddess Hestia in Greek mythology, and she was the goddess of the hearth. So you have that fire energy that is so prevalent for you during this time really coming forward. And when the Olympians defeated the Titans, there was one too many goddesses, right? One too many main goddess. Excuse me. And there needed to be an equal amount of gods and an equal amount of goddesses to sit in Olympus. And everybody was fighting. Nobody wanted to give up their spot. And my favorite goddess of all, Hestia, she said, you know what? No. This quarreling, this bickering, this anger, it's not worth it. I will step down. And she did. She stepped down. And what was in every single Greek and then Roman home? A statue of the goddess Hestia. What was the home centered around? The hearth. Okay? Even today, we are drawn to fireplaces, to the warmth of the fire. So here, there is going to be something that seems insignificant, that seems as if, you know what, I'll just step to the side. But you're going to see that by embracing truly your heart's passion, truly who you are and what you desire, prosperity, bounty comes, and you start learning things, you start seeing things in a new way. Okay? Doors start to open to you. There is a sense of wonder coming in. There's also a sense of the innocence of childhood coming. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to be naive or like a child. It does mean that you're going to look at things through unbiased eyes. And that's really going to be at your heart and what moves you forward in prosperity. This then leads you to justice. Now again, a Libra energy, balancing, cutting through doubts and fears, really not going to be putting up with anybody's bull. You want to keep the peace, and this is also saying that you are really building things up for the full moon in Libra in April. You are really building things up, and there's a sense of long-term goals that you have during this time that you are going to be focusing on and really developing and desiring. And this also leads you here, and I love that you have two major arcana, so this is a very powerful crown right here. This leads you to the Capricorn energy, which is a time frame of December 22nd to January 19th. But here, you are breaking chains, all right? I view the Capricorn energy, the devil energy, yes, it is a breaking of addictions. So this is alcohols, drugs, sex, food, shopping, those addictions that people can, state rather easily or, can be pinpointed. Maybe not state that you have, but, pinpoint them rather easily. But then there's also the addiction of people pleasing. There's the addiction of, doubting yourself. There's the addiction of, not wanting to rock the boat, so maybe swallowing your words, that kind of stuff. Here, you are seeing what you are addicted to, what you think, okay, if I do this, things will become easier, or things will not be so chaotic or hard, or something to that effect. And here, you're saying, you know what, no, it's me, warts and all. I am moving forward in my power and in my truth, and I am not going to have my life dictated by the addictions to please other people or to numb myself. So during this time, you're going to be calling yourself out a bit here. Cancer is what you're really going to do. And you're also going to want to call out other people. Don't do that so much. If people are ready to hear things, they'll come, they'll ask, they'll seek. But don't call other people out, even though you might want to. You might sit there and be like, oh my gosh, I can see the pattern that they're following, and it was the pattern that I was following, and you'd really genuinely want to help them. But things have to be realized. at their own time and in their own way. So just be mindful of this during this time. And you're also breaking away from the chains of society. And it doesn't mean that you go and kind of pack all your possessions into a backpack that you can and just go off and live in the woods if that's what you want to do. I mean, you live your life the way that you want to. But with the devil card, this is a sense of breaking chains, of sitting there and looking at what the rest of the world says. Okay, this is what you're supposed to do, this is what you're supposed to do, and saying, you know what, this is what I need to do. As long as you're not hurting anyone, as long as you are upholding your responsibilities, which I feel is astoundingly important, then you do your best and you live your truth. And it doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. And that's going to be something that brings you great justice and great balance during this time as you move forward in passion and in power, as you embrace what you desire, as you claim your throne, right? As a new dawn and a new day comes around you. And always the Queen of Wands makes me think of the goddess Hecate or Heket in Greek mythology, the goddess of magic. And magic can be conjuring magic. If that's what you are called to and are into, then yes, then the conjuring magic will be more around you. But this is also, for me, this is the Godhead that lives within us. This is also a beginner's mind where you have the innocent eyes of the Page of Wands, the learner, the child, the youth coming forward. And this is paired with the mature, wise eyes of the Queen of Wands. So here you're going to feel at times that you're not at war with yourself, but that you're looking at things and you're like, okay, listen, I can see this way, but I also know that I want things to be different. And if I don't move forward towards this mystery, towards this joy, then will I ever be able to claim my throne? Will I be able to walk in wisdom? And the answer is yes, but be mindful of, it's Spirit is saying the liberties you give people, but be mindful of the second chances you give people, like saying, oh, they didn't mean that, or oh, that was just a slip of the tongue or something like that. No, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Believe them and don't try to hide it away, because that's going to be very important to you and for you during this time as you move forward in heightened creativity, as you embrace each dawn and each day with passion and with focus. And as you do so, you claim your magic, you see that God's head within, and there is this prosperity, this radiance, this bounty to you. There is this sense of seeing your harvest and moving towards that harvest, moving towards that bounty. And as you do so, a new dawn and a new day becomes part of you with the Ace of Wands. You embrace your passion and your power. You are handed this gift from God's source spirit, however you see the divine, the universe. And it really is a gift that you take, but is intended for you to move forward in and with. It is you being graced by greater understanding. It is you moving towards something that is powerful for your spirit and yourself. It is going to be something that can seem a bit much or a heavy responsibility. Knights protecting kingdoms, especially knights protecting queens, is a heavy responsibility. But you are going to be more than up for the task as your passion comes together with your heart. And your heart for you, Cancer, as a water sign energy, is so absolutely important and imperative, because your heart is what leads you forward. It's what guides you. And I do see this little circle right up here as kind of being like the moon that he is looking over his shoulder at and being like, okay, how do I move forward? Where is it that I want to be? And you're going to be connecting with this kind of deeper knowledge, this deeper sense of self during this time. Because I am of the firm belief that we are emotional beings. We come from a place of the heart. As much as we want to say that we are logic, as much as we want to say that, reason can trump everything, really coming from the heart is where human beings thrive from. We are social creatures, and that is going to be where you pull your greatest creativity, and unlocking that heart's energy and saying, you know what, it's not foolish, it's actually quite a windfall, quite a prosperous connection, is going to be something that opens up doors for you with the Two of Wands. It has you moving forward, and you will see things happening kind of in twos. Something bad happens, something else bad will happen. Not really bad, but things will happen in twos during this time. You get a revelation, you get an idea, you'll have another one that adds to its beauty, that adds to the composition of what you are creating. And so here with the Two of Wands, you hold the world in your hands and you look out. You look at something more and you're looking towards something more, which then brings you to the Four of Wands. And the Four of Wands is the marriage card, so it can be a celebration akin to a wedding, something very joyous, very happy, very beautiful, but it's also here new job opportunities, new creative endeavors. There is a sense of, moving house or just moving into the phase of your life and into the part of your life where you celebrate yourself each and every day. It doesn't have to be in a big way. It can be in a very calm, very subtle, but very beautiful way. And as you celebrate yourself and you let that beauty in, the chains start to fall away. You start to see yourself moving in a different light towards prosperity, towards abundance. And you can have a very strong connection here with a Capricorn energy, most definitely, and also with this Libra energy right here, really helping you move forward, really helping you find this balance. And as you're set free, and it can be also again with this Capricorn energy, as this Capricorn energy embraces their path, and as you embrace yours, you start to see the world in a new visionary way, in a kind of a pioneering way. I'm going to do something, or moving towards uncharted waters, doing something that you might have been apprehensive of doing before, scared of doing, and now you're starting to say, well, what's the worst that can happen? And this is not saying at all that you quit your job, you go off, you join the circus kind of thing. This is very much saying that you take care of your responsibilities, you have a steady plan, but you start to open up that door. You start to see, new opportunities moving your way, and you work hard towards them. Most definitely. It's not just going to all just fall into alignment because the cards say that there's a bright and beautiful future here. You have to go after it. And I want to make sure that Spirit is saying, make sure that that's clear. Especially during this time in this moon, when this is a moon, excuse me, this is a moon of action. This is a moon of determination. This is a moon of attracting to you what you desire, but having to work for it, having to turn the soil, planting the seeds, getting the harvest, but you have to put in the hard work. So let's see what the Queen of the Moon cards have to say. How will Cancer be affected by the March 2020 full moon? How will Cancer be affected by the March 2020 full moon? Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. Fantastic. So you have the masculine energy coming forward. I'm actually going to just lay these out and then go over everything. How will Cancer be affected by the March 2020 full moon? How will Cancer be affected by the March 2020 full moon? How will Cancer be affected by the March 2020 full moon? Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. Oh, there you are, shining through, full moon in Cancer. I love that. Okay, so at the heart of everything, we have masculine energy. And when I see this, I see carrying something very heavy, but for a shorter period of time. So physiologically, men can pick up a heavier rock, but carry it a shorter distance, okay? But women can pick up a lighter rock and carry it for twice as long, right? So it's a difference here of the way that you are carrying burdens. And here it is going to be something that is heavy, something that is intense. You carry it for a short period of time. And during this moon, you're mulling it over, you're planting your seeds, you're tilling the soil, you are, keeping the fire of the hearth going, you're preparing for you're preparing for bounty is what I'm really seeing here, and that moves you towards seeing your passion, your creativity in a new way, in a new light. And as you put down this burden, you are going to embrace this passion and this creativity, because it leads you to the balsamic moon, which says it's a time of healing. As you let go of this burden, there's a time of healing that ushers in prosperity, abundance, and bounty. It leads you towards being hungry for justice, for balance, for harmony coming in with the wolf moon. And then that leads you to the full moon in Scorpio, where it says it's time to release negativity, which is amplified by the devil motif right here with the chains and the straitjacket and everything like that. So it's time to release negativity, and it's time to move forward in the freedom of expression and the freedom of self that you desire, not sitting there trying to conform to what others want. We only have X amount of heartbeats. Let us live them being happy, and let us live them being in alignment with who we were born to be, not who we are trying to be, to make people proud of us, or to, to even be proud of ourselves, because we're told this is the way the success is supposed to be. This is the face of it. Now it is time to simply embrace your heart, your soul, yourself. And I say simply, but there's nothing simple about it. It takes tremendous courage. And that's what you're doing here. You have this courage to be yourself, and to be who you are born to be. And as you do so, you release the negativity that has held you back. And this moves you forward to tremendous change as you claim your throne and you see the God's head within. And this leads you to a new dawn, a new day, a new way of embracing understanding and power, which leads you to the full moon in Taurus. Your dreams need a practical plan. So as you embrace your prosperity, your abundance, as you look at your harvest, you want things to have a practical plan. That is that, earth sign energy, that Virgo energy coming through, where it's like, okay, we need a plan, we need to fix things, we need to focus, we need to, be moving things forward. And this Taurus energy is saying, don't give up on your dreams. There's this beautiful sensuality to this earth sign energy, to this groundingness that is around you. Don't give up on your dreams. But there needs to be a practical plan so that dreams become part of your reality, and your reality becomes a waking dream. Which leads you to darkness. You're going to find great inspiration in quiet. You have the hare right here in Celtic mythology. This is a sign of a magic user, okay? So like a druid here. And this is a symbol of connecting with that magic within, that God's head within, the power of the earth, the harmony of the soul, the strength of the trees. So during this time, as either, the trees start to have life budding on them again, or they start to lose their leaves, this is a time where you see the roots of things mattering, and you see a cycle coming to a head. And as you do so, there's going to be a beauty that is around you, a power that is around you, that is about knowing, understanding, and being determined. Tremendous creativity, but also tremendous focus. This gift from God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, comes, and you really embrace it within the dark hours, within the quietness of night, within the recesses of your soul. And this can be also that you see this gift coming in as you have been through a dark night of the soul, and you're starting to realize that, yeah, it was terrible, it stunk, but it has shown you a power to yourself that you didn't believe that you had, or that you doubted could be part of you. And now with the full moon in Cancer right here, right over you, oh, I love that, right over you as the Knight of Cups, it says a personal issue reaches resolution. This is going to be so important for you during this time, because this is a moon about, intense emotions and intense relationships. So a personal issue reaches a resolution, is resolved as you move forward, as you move towards your goals, as you embrace your dreams, which leads you to knowing that this is a time of healing as you bring your dreams into the practical world, right? And you start to make your dreams a reality. This leads you to wisdom. This leads you to being guided by wisdom. This leads you to understanding that your knowledge, like the wolf Spirit said, your knowledge is turned into wisdom. And as you embrace this wisdom, you look at your future. Excuse me. You start to see that you can move forward in a way that seemed to be out of reach before, that you thought, oh my gosh, this couldn't be me. But now you're starting to see that you hold the whole world in your hands. Excuse me. As you reach for the stars and your dreams, which leads you to holding to your vision, to holding to what you desire. With the fixed moon, it says hold your vision, hold to what you want, because you will be celebrating it, and it will be beautiful, and it will be a tremendous part of your life, which leads you to releasing the negativity and embracing the healing, which leads us to your subconscious message. Now, for this whole entire tarot reading, your subconscious message is the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is a betrayal. For me, it is a betrayal. I know it is supposed to be read as friendship and coming together. Every time I read it that way, it is just so wrong. And this is the meaning for me. I read intuitively as well as by the book. And so this is that little voice in your head of that person who said you couldn't do it, of that person you trusted and thought, oh my gosh, they totally have my back on this. And yet things kind of fell apart. And that voice comes up and it makes you doubt yourself. It makes you question yourself. And now during this time, you will hear that voice and it's going to be like a test. Do you listen to it? Do you deny yourself, your power, your purpose, and your truth? Or do you move forward, knowing that every hardship, every heartbreak, every pain, every disappointment that you have been through has molded you, shaped you, and cultivated you into the person that you need to be to achieve and live your glory and your dreams? Which leads you to your subconscious message of the Queen of the Moon cards, which is acceptance. Accepting the things that you can change, accepting the things that you can't change, and not living in a place of judgment, but in a place of beauty and openness. Which then leads you to your subconscious message for the Moonology cards, which is the full moon eclipse. Conclusions are within reach. You are reaching the end of a beautiful journey, and you are really finding your place to stand and your power, your purpose. You are absolutely embracing it. All right, Cancer, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you, and I love you all. Bye.